2021, the Chicago Bulls duo of Lonzo Ball and Alex Caruso carried the Bulls to the 1 seed and a top 5 defense before Lonzo's injury. This season, Derek White and Jrue Holiday destroyed opposing offenses with their ability to switch and shut down stars, but the next great defensive duo is emerging in Houston with Tari Eason and Amen Thompson. Eason and Thompson bring the defensive playmaking of Caruso and Lonzo, with the switchability of White and Holiday, along with ridiculous wingspans, shot blocking, and some of the best rebounding from wings in the entire league. With only 166 games between them, these two have the potential to be the best defensive duo in the NBA one day, and possibly one of the greatest defensive duos of all time. Standing 6'8" with a 7'2" wingspan and entering the draft at 217 pounds, Tari Eason's lengthy frame and energy were his biggest selling points. Other players with this kind of wingspan differential are typically tenacious defenders, and coupled with an engine that just never seems to run out of fuel, and tying for the biggest hand size measurement since the 2014 Combine is a recipe for greatness. In his lone season at LSU, Eason notched LSU's highest player efficiency rating since tracking began in 2009, beating out the likes of Ben Simmons and Cam Thomas despite averaging under 17 points a game. His absurd value came on the defensive end through hustle plays, rebounding, and elite anticipation under the rim. Averaging 2 steals per 36 minutes his rookie season in the NBA ranked him 6th in the league, and his mark of 2.3 per 36 this season puts him in the top 5. For as long as Eason plays, he will contend for the top spot in this category. For those who don't keep up with the Rockets, Tari sustained an injury in preseason which kept him out for 6 weeks until he returned to make an in-season tournament push, in which Houston came up just short of the knockout stage. He was on a minutes restriction for the majority of his 22 games played, playing just around 20 minutes a night, and the injury just never fully healed. He was sidelined for another 3 months until he finally underwent season-ending surgery on his shin in early March to insert titanium in the bone and reinforce his leg. In the games he did play this year, he racked up steals in every way possible: fronting post-ups, reading passing lanes, catching players sleeping, stripping drives, and generating on-ball steals. His blocking ability also took a sizable leap from his rookie year, improving from 1 to 1.4 blocks per 36 due to a ton of added muscle and Ime Udoka's switch-heavy scheme. Playing as a helper, Eason is able to gamble on drives and has more than enough length to play in the paint and still recover out to the perimeter. One of the most impressive parts about Tari's game is his ability to affect jump shots. He's not just going through the motions, but he really takes pride in disrupting shooters. This shot from 6'10" Michael Porter Jr. is normally wide open, but Tari's 7'2" wingspan and massive hands cause an airball. This is a graph of every player in the NBA ordered by opponent 3-point percentage. Up here is Doug McDermott, whose opponent shot 42.5% from behind the arc when he's the closest defender. And over here is Malcolm Brogdon at 31.7%. OG Anunoby with his 7'2" wingspan at 30.7%, and Tari Eason at 26.2%, which is the lowest mark in the last 15 seasons among players with over 450 minutes. Obviously, there's an aspect of luck involved when looking at defended field goal attempts, and I'm not saying Tari is the best shot contester of the last 15 years, but rather contextualizing how his wingspan really impacts the game. His effort on the glass is easily up there with the best in the league, manufacturing second chance points out of nothing over and over again. On his podcast earlier this year, Draymond Green was asked who could be the next version of him, and this is what he had to say.
Who can be the next generation of you
Tari
in the league
Eason.
right now?
Tari Eason.
And you said that quick. You thought about this.
Yeah, from what I've seen from him, he can dribble the ball, he can shoot it okay, but you can better a jump
Crazy
shot.
motor.
Yeah, he's a good athlete, great length, great size, rebound the ball, not soft at all.
Right.
Like, ain't backing down from nothing, does the little things. I say Tari Eason.
Statistically, Tari and Draymond already compare pretty well through the first 2 years of their careers. In 22 games, Eason posted 1 defensive win share, which extrapolates to 3.7 if he were to play the whole season. Defensive box plus minus is also a great indicator of how impactful a player is on team defense. It's a stat Draymond has led the league in twice, and Tari has already made major improvement from his rookie year. This stat is also pretty dependent on the rest of the roster, so being drafted to a tanking team with an extreme deficit of impactful defenders doesn't help his rookie season value. Amen Thompson is every bit of 6'7", has a 7-foot wingspan, and is one of the most unique athletes that the NBA has ever seen. Not only did he measure a 40.5-inch vertical at Overtime Elite's Pro Day, but he also reportedly hit 44 inches during his Trailblazers workout before the draft. He may also be the fastest player in the league, clocking an impressive 2.97 seconds in the three-quarter court sprint, which places him in the top 10 of all time. This dude is seriously a blur. I've never seen anyone move like he does on both offense and defense. Thompson has parlayed his athleticism with his defensive anticipation to become an intimidating presence on both the perimeter and down low. Small guards lack a speed advantage against him, wings can't match his length, and he has everyone beat on vertical leap. You can nitpick parts of his defensive game that he needs to improve on, but overall, Amen is already one of the league's most complete defenders. His defensive EPM of 2.3 is top 20 in the entire NBA, and he's just 20 years old. With Tari Eason's injury, Amen has had to step into a roaming role due to the roster's general lack of rim protection and rebounding, and he showcased his ability as an elite help defender. He has incredible instincts in the passing lanes, consistently grabbing steals and doing everything in transition. Playing off the ball allowed Thompson to gamble a lot more on defense, which is why his steals tended to trend upwards towards the end of the season. However, his real potential lies as a point of attack stopper. He's able to slow guards like Shai Gilgeous-Alexander and Jalen Brunson, and block Bol. Right as Amen entered the rotation and before Tari exited with his injury, there were 6 games of overlap where they were able to share the floor. This stretch of games was Tari's most playing time of the season, and he put up some eye-popping numbers, averaging just under 3 steals a night. Amen was still warming up and didn't get a ton of burn, but his intensity could be felt right away. I mean, look at this rep. Tari gambles and comes so close to ripping Durant for what would be his 6th steal of the game, but Amen immediately doubles and Tari forces KD into the help. Amen stays upright and gets a perfectly timed chase-down block. The ability for both players to guard the ball while simultaneously being 2 of the best help defenders in all of basketball already, I seriously think we could be looking at a generational duo. In terms of the fit around Alperen Sengun, the benefit of having 2 players this adept at helping in the paint is the ability for the big to hedge in the perimeter. Steve Jones from the Dunker Spot made this exact point when explaining how valuable OG Anunoby is to the Knicks.
Isaiah Hartenstein can be a little bit more active in pick and roll. He can be a little bit closer to the level. He can put 2 on the ball just for a heartbeat. The other reason he can do that, OG Anunoby is on the weak side, helping in the paint. And so when you have that kind of rotation in size and length, it can help your defense. It can bolster that scheme. It can make it stronger. So I think that's been a big plus for them.
Side note, it kind of bothers me how only offensive-minded players are referred to as stars in the NBA. The Knicks were 20-3 when Anunoby played and 13-14 without him, while also struggling mightily in the playoffs after his injury. A player with that kind of impact should, in my opinion, be called a star. And in just a few years from now, the Rockets will have 2 of them.